In this video, I'm going to focus exclusively on what to do with negative exponents, even though we've introduced the concept in previous videos. And so negative exponents, how they work and move around is that you can move them from the top to the bottom or the bottom to the top as long as you change the sign to being a positive. And so if I've got 2 over 5 to negative 1, I can move that negative 1 power to the top and it just becomes 2 times 5 to the 1, which is 10. Another example, 1 over a half to the power of negative 3. I can bring that whole term, half, to the top, and I make it to the power of positive 3. So it becomes 1 times a half to the power of 3 is just 1 over 8. 1 times 1 over 8 is 1 over 8. Another way, which I'm going to discuss a little bit further, is you could have said, if I've got a negative exponent, I just flip the contents of the bracket around and make it positive. And so you could have also done that. Instead of bringing it all the way to the top, you could have just flipped the fraction around and changed the sign. That would have given you 2 to 3 is 8. So 1 over 8. But if a plus or minus separates a term, then the negative power can just become a fraction where it is. It can't immediately move up and down. And so if I've got this question here, 2 over 3 to negative 1 minus 5 to negative 1, I can't just bring this straight up and call it 2 times 3 to the 1 minus 5 to the 1. Because of this minus separating terms, it throws a massive spanner in the works. And so what I've got to do is, where it is, I've got to kind of take it down and make it 1 over 3 to the 1 minus 1 over 5 to 1, and then it becomes a fraction skilled question where just on the bottom I've got to try and get an LCD of 15. So this needs to be times by 5, this needs to be times by 3. That leaves me with 2 divided by 2 of 15. I don't like triple decker fractions, and so I'm going to tip and times. So the top is just 2, so I think of it as 2 over 1 times, and I flip this around, 15 over 2. The 2's cancel, and I'm just left with 15. Last 2 things to show you. If you have, like I mentioned here, if you have a bracket with a fraction that has a negative power, you can just flip the fraction. You can flip the contents of the bracket and just give it a positive power. And so this would just flip this around. So it's 3 over p plus 3, and it becomes to the positive exponent, which is just what it is. Another example, I could make this 1 over and this bracket squared, but an easier way I personally like to do is when there's a fraction, I just flip it around and change it to a positive exponent. 5 squared is 25. The bottom y minus 4 squared ends up being y squared minus 8y plus 16, and so there's your final answer. The last thing to show you in this video is 1 over something can just become a negative power. So 1 over 3 squared is just 3 to the negative 2. So you're literally just putting a negative in front of the power and bringing it up. 1 over 125, so 125 is 5 cubed, so it's just 5 to the negative 3. 1 over 9, 9 is 3 squared, but if I want to bring it up, it just becomes 3 to the negative 2. And so these are all concepts to hopefully make life a little bit easier in the realm of negative exponents and gaining a basic understanding of them. I hope that you found this video useful. If you did, please like it, subscribe to our channel, and share it with your friends. Thanks.